How to make a hard goal easy to accomplish. So, my name is Coach Wills, and if you can see here, I have my son with me. So, he's joining me for another podcast episode. And today, he actually turned 6 months. So, in the comments, you guys can definitely say happy birthday or happy 6 months. He'll greatly appreciate it, and so would me and his mom. I want to tell you guys a story about back in the day when I was in college. There's one game that me and my homeboy we used to love playing, and it was Madden. So, with Madden, what's fun about this game was that you could play online, and also you could play against a computer, but also you could play against each other. And whenever me and him played against each other, it was always a good game. Now I gotta admit, he was a little bit better than me because he actually played football and I didn't. So some games he used to really get me. But what was really fun was the challenge that the game used to have. So when me and him used to play, the games used to be very close. And in the fourth quarter, one of us would end up pulling out. Most times it would be him. But there are some times where he wouldn't be able to play, and I would just play by myself, or I'll play online. And when you play Madden, if you know anything about video games in Madden, when you're playing against a computer, you actually have some levels that you can select before you actually play the game. So you can play the game on what's called all rookie level, then you have all rookie, and then you have all pro, and then you have Madden, then you have all Madden. Now, if you ever played the game and you played it on the all rookie level, you and I both know that it's very easy. And when it's very easy, it's actually not a fun game. But when you play the game on, let's say, Madden or Pro, or dare I even say all Madden, that game is actually really fun and it's challenging. Now, I may have only beaten the computer maybe one time when I played it on all Madden, but every time I play, it's been challenging. And the reason why I bring this up is because when you set goals that are challenging, it is very fulfilling and fun. But when you set goals that are very, let's just say, unchallenging, very low, something that you can easily accomplish, most times it's not as fulfilling. If you ever stopped and look and ask yourself, are the goals that I'm setting fulfilling? If you're able to say yes to that, there's a good chance that those goals are actually tough and they actually mean something to you. But if the goals that you're accomplishing are unfulfilling, they're boring, then there's a good chance that they're not really hard, if you will. So what I'm trying to say here is that it is very important for us as human beings to set really hard goals. And if you're not doing that, gosh, trust me, you're missing out on life, because it's all about the person that you will become once you accomplish that tough goal. Now, here's the thing. To set a tough goal is one thing. Knowing how to accomplish it is a totally different thing. And I want to tell you guys first about a tough goal that I recently accomplished within my business. So recently I decided, you know what? To hell with it. I'm gonna double my prices. So one day I'm sitting around the house and I'm like, hey, let's see if someone would be willing to pay twice as much as my average customer does today. So I made some changes to my website and I sat around waiting for a call, and someone reached out to me and said, hey, I'm looking for therapy. Are you able to help me? And I talked to them and I'm getting to know what it is that they're going through and everything. And then I tell them the price, and guess what? They say no. I talked to them about the objections and all that stuff, and they still say no. And after that phone call, I was like, man, I'm feeling real defeated. I'm feeling real crushed. So I go back and say, you know what? Maybe I should lower my prices. But then something stopped me. Something told me, you know what? By lowering my prices, I'm actually lowering my sense of self-worth because I value my time and I know what I bring to the table. So I say, you know what? We're going to keep them the same. So after going through a heap of negative self-talk, just like many of you would after a failure, I decided, you know what, let's give it another shot. So someone gave me a call. I walked through them the process. I talked to them. I get to know what they're going through. And I tell them the price, and guess what they say? They say no again. Guys, hey, it takes time, right? It takes time. So feeling even more discouraged, I had to ask myself, okay, what was it that happened that actually went wrong? So I looked through the process and I realized that from 1 to 9, if there's a 10-step process, from 1 to 9, I did really great. It's that 10th step that I was having problems with. So I stopped and I looked at it, I studied it, I even bought a couple books. And when the next potential client called, I walked them through the process again, and they said yes. They said it is not a problem to pay your new fee. And for me, that was very rewarding. But here's the thing, guys. To get to this point, and this is the first step with making a hard goal easy, you have to change what you see success is. Because with the first two calls, I was judging myself and judging whether or not I was successful on whether or not someone said yes or no. Now, in my field, if you want to say, you're in sales or entrepreneurship, small business owner, like all these things, we know that we can't control people. No one can do that, even as a therapist. And I can't control my clients. I can't make them do the things that I tell them. But what I hope and pray that I can do is influence them. And that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to influence people because we can't control any outcome. Now, when you walk through the steps and you know the steps, you have a better chance of influencing people to take the action that you want them to take. But you have to sit back and you have to study those steps. And that's what I wanted to do. When those people were calling me, I told myself, hey, you know what? Success is not going to be whether or not they say yes or no, but it's going to be whether or not I went through my process. Did I go through that process the way that I wanted to? If I could say yes, then guess what? It was a successful day. And when I started to do that, the numbers that people were saying yes to started to increase little by little. And that's one of the first ways that you can make a hard goal easy. You have to change what you see success is. This will allow you to practice and take more swings at the bat than someone who sees success as based on an outcome, right? Did I make it or did I not make it? Did a person say yes? Did they say no? Did I get the sale or did I not get the sale? Do this, and trust me when I say you will make that hard goal easier because your perception about it will change. All right, the second way to make a hard goal easier is by having a system. Now, I love my system because it's tailored to me, and also I've seen the progress that I've made by having this system. So a lot of times people will come up with a goal, but they have no plan or system to accomplishing that goal. I'll give you an example. A lot of people will come to me and say, hey, I want to start a business, or hey, I want to take my business to 6 figures or to 7 figures. And I'm like, okay, great. What goals do we have to do that? And they're like, and they don't have any goals. Or what's even worse is that they have the goals, but they don't have a time set up to accomplish these goals. They have time for everything else, right? Time to go to work, time for family, time to play video games, time to hang out with friends, and maybe even time to work out. But when it comes to something like taking their business to 6 figures, when it comes to those personal goals, they do not have a system. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my system. You can take it if you want, or if anything, just take the strategy, take the idea behind it. So for me, I absolutely love having large blocks of time. So first thing in the morning when I wake up at 5 a.m., I have the next 5 hours to accomplish anything that I want. And during these 5 hours, I'm going to the gym, I'm reading books, I'm creating emails, answering emails, but also I'm working on my business. I'm reading books, I'm putting together funnels, I'm doing courses, I'm doing webinars, and I'm also doing podcasts like this. Like, these are all the things that I can fit within that 5-hour time frame without being interrupted, okay? And that's why if you're a client of mine, you know I don't see clients until 10 a.m. Because when you create a large block of time, it gives you time to get into the flow, okay? Now, if you're trying to do something really creative, and if you don't have enough time to get into into the state of flow, you're gonna find yourself not being able to put out your best work. So try to find large, uninterrupted time. Now, for you, large uninterrupted time may be 30 minutes, it may be an hour. I would tell you to keep crafting that. And also, and this is where sometimes I gotta check myself, like, do not be afraid of doing work on the weekends. Like, I'm telling you, it is nothing to get up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. on a Saturday or Sunday and chase your dreams. And that's if you work a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. But you have to ask yourself, am I willing to put in that type of work? Every client that I work with, I find myself fighting back, telling them that. And maybe that's a little bit, shame on me, because I know the level of degree that I want it. And when I say it, I mean this business success, this lifestyle success. So me getting up at 5 a.m. on a Sunday or Saturday is nothing. It's almost like a no-brainer. But for some people, that price is too high to pay. And I don't want that to be you. So if you need help, I would say start off by getting up early on the weekends and start attacking your list of actions for that day. All right, this third step that will help you make a hard goal easier to accomplish is actually something that I've always learned, but have manifested itself when I went to the gym. So about 2 years ago, back in 2021, that summer, I decided, you know what? let me go to the gym in the morning now that I don't have to get up and go to work because I quit my job during that time. So what I decided, is to get up at 5 a.m., go to the gym, and start lifting. Specifically, I wanted to start lifting or bench pressing weights, if you will. So when I first got there, I started off with 115 pounds, okay? So that's about 45-pound plates on both sides of the bar. So I'm in there, I'm lifting, and I'm like, yo, this is heavy. And just like you, the next day, I was like, yo, like I'm hurting, man. Like my body's aching. And I said, you know what? Let's go again. And I told myself, let's keep going to the gym consistently and let's see what happens. And this is what I love about curiosity. If I could tell you guys anything, allow curiosity to be that thing that pushes you. I want you to be curious what would happen if you stuck to your goals consistently for a year. I want you to be curious what would happen if you asked your boss for a raise, or if you found a new job, or if you doubled your prices like I said. Just be curious. So going back to the story, I was curious about, well, how much could I lift, or what would my body look like if I stayed in the gym for a year? So I'm in the gym and I'm lifting. And if you're a good friend of mine, you've seen me lately and you said, wow, you've gotten pretty buff. Like, have you been going to the gym? And I always say, yeah, I'm in the gym. I'm getting it in. Like so many of my friends have said that to me. And the second year I started going to the gym or kept staying consistent to the gym, I personally started to see the changes. So I'm in there and I'm benching. And I decided, you know what? Let's max out today. So it was about a 2-year anniversary since I started going to the gym. And again, like I said, I was benching 115 when I started. So I asked a friend, or not even a friend, I asked a random person at the gym, come help me bench press essentially. And it came over and I was able to bench this weight 3 times. And I was like, yo, like I'm getting real strong out here. And when you ask or when you think or when I think about how much weight it was surprising actually. So the weight that I lifted was actually 255, okay? Think about that. I went from 115 to 255, okay? That's how much I started to lift once I went to the gym. So in other words, I practically doubled, more than doubled, how much I was bench pressing. Now, the process up until that point was me just putting on an extra 5-pound plates on the bar. So I went from benching 115 to maybe 120, 125, and I just kept building it like that over time. And then eventually, I got to the point where, as I said, I was benching 255. Now, one thing that I tell my clients and even my email list is that my goal by January 1st, 2024 is to bench press 300 pounds. And guys, I gotta tell you, I'm getting very close to that. Now, what does all this have to do with goals and setting hard goals and things like that? Well, for me, I literally set a hard goal, a heavy goal. And I see that I'm able to accomplish it over the course of time because I'm breaking it down. There's nothing that you can accomplish if you're willing to break that goal down and stay consistent over the course of time. That's what I'm telling you. Be curious what you can accomplish in a year if you stuck with one goal, okay? That's one of the biggest things that I can tell you. Be curious and also break down large goals into smaller goals. All right, and number 4, the last way to make a hard goal easier is to first identify the obstacles that is making this goal hard, but then ask yourself, what are the people, the knowledge, or even the skills that I need in order to accomplish this goal? Now, one hard goal for me was to be able to not only write 5 emails for the week for my email list, but also to be consistent with my podcast. And to help me to make this hard goal easier, I had to use AI. So one of the greatest things that I've been using lately is called Opus. Opus is a great AI system. I encourage you to actually check it out, where you take a YouTube video that you posted, upload the link, and it'll send you 10 to 12 different clips that you can use for Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever the case it may be, even YouTube shorts. This has saved me so much time because I would go and I would try to do these individually. But now what I can do is just do one long form content like this, and I can chop it up, and now I have 10 different posts that I can use, right? And that's just one. Another great way that I make a hard goal easier is by using AI. So I use ChatGPT and other systems to help me to craft some of my emails, to craft some of the descriptions that you see in my YouTube topics, a whole lot of things, right? These are easier ways to make hard things easier. Another thing that, and guys, please do this. Another thing that you can do is you can hire somebody. So I've hired a Facebook ads coach because this is going to make my life a whole lot easier 5 months, 10 months, a year down the line. Because if I didn't, guess what I would still be doing at this moment? I'll still be procrastinating. I'll still be trying to learn the system. But this guy, he already has a proven framework. So why wouldn't I just hire him to help me with this part of my business, right? You can't be lazy, guys. You can't be cheap either. And that's something that I talked about in a previous episode that I want you guys to look at. It's the hidden cost of being lazy. Check that one out. So hire people, right? Use resources like AI. Also, read books, take courses, go to webinars, go to conferences. These are the easier ways to accomplish these tough goals. You just have to be willing to go out there and take advantage of them. In conclusion, there's 4 ways that you can make a really hard goal easier to accomplish. The first, as I mentioned, is just change what you see success as. Instead of seeing whether or not things went well or didn't go well, ask yourself, did you do it or did you not do it? Okay, that's the first step. The second step, guys, is I want you to start making a system. Find a system that you can use to actually implement these goals. In other words, find a plan to accomplish these goals. All right. The next one is to actually break your big goals down to smaller goals. All right. Like I said, I went to the gym and I was able to increase or double essentially how much I was bench pressing just from adding 5 extra pound plates maybe every other week that I went to the gym. Okay. So break goals down. And then the last one, identify the obstacles that are getting in your way and then find the people, the resources, the books, the knowledge, the skills, whatever it is to help you to accomplish these goals. If you do those 4 things, trust me when I say these really big goals that you have, they'll seem easier to accomplish and it will completely change your identity and how you see yourself. My name is Coach Wells. This is my son, Champ. Again, today he turned 6 months. So in the comments below, just say happy birthday or happy 6 months, Champ. Me and his mom would definitely appreciate it. All right, guys. I'll see you later.